What is going on, everyone? Chris with Journals, Comics, and Pop Culture. Today's video is really special to me because I am a huge Spider-Man fan, and I'm showing off the top 10 Spider-Man books in my collection. Before I get into it, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please take some time to do so. We are almost at 8,000 subscribers. I'm going to be doing a small little giveaway once we hit 8K, and I'm also going to be announcing my big, huge 10K subscriber contest when we do as well. Let's talk about today's video. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I've read almost every Spider-Man book published. That's a fact. I'm not even lying. And I own a lot, right? I have complete runs of Spectacular Spider-Man and Web of Spider-Man and all the side runs, you know, the Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man. And my Amazing Spider-Man Volume 1 run is pretty solid as well. I have everything from 102 until it ends at 440, 450 something. My Silver Age collection is pretty solid. Missing out on a lot of those early ones. But today I said, you know what? I'm going to show off my top 10 Spider-Man books out of my collection. Keep in mind, this is my personal favorites. So they're not necessarily in order by value, fair market value, or how big they are. I think that it correlates. You'll see that, but it's not specific. So let's just get into showing off some books. Now, I do have an honorable mention. So the first one that we're going to show here is that. And that is Amazing Spider-Man number 361. First appearance of Carnage. First full appearance of Carnage. This is the silver cover second print. Now, the really interesting thing about this is I bought this book off the shelf when I was a kid, and I was collecting Amazing Spider-Man during that time. And I would go to my shop. I believe it was called Toys and Comics. And this is the one I picked up. So I don't know if I was late that week. Like, I don't remember going like once, you know, like I wasn't hit to like going every Wednesday or whenever they came out back then, every new comic book day for that week and going and catching them. So I may have just went late and missed out on the first print, and this is what I got. So no, I do not have a first print of this, but this one has been going up in value as well. And personally, I like the silver background better anyways. Very, very happy at least to have this copy in my collection. So this is my runner-up honorable mention. I need to give this guy a press here. All right. Number 10 out of my top 10 Spider-Man books in my collection. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 194. First appearance of Black Cat. Definitely a mid-grade copy. You can probably see there's a lot of color wear. I don't know if you guys can see that too much on the camera. Definitely some color wear on the black. I got this, obviously in the back issue bins, but when I was a kid. And I probably paid like $1 for it or something. It was, I know it wasn't much way back then. Probably late 80s, early 90s. But again, very happy to have it. I kept it in as best condition as I could once I had it. But I know when I bought it, it was already worn. So Black Cat, one of my favorite Spider-Man characters, in my humble opinion, and I cannot wait to see Black Cat show up in the MCU via, you know, the Sony properties. I hope to see that happen sooner than later. All right, next up, this was big for me as a kid. Amazing Spider-Man 238, first appearance of Hobgoblin. This is a newsstand. Nice higher grade copy. Hobgoblin was that dude when I was a kid. Keep in mind, Green Goblin was dead at this specific time. Harry took on the mantle, and then I think this time he was healed. Like, he wasn't sick in the head anymore. He had amnesia, right? And Hobgoblin was that goblin for my generation. I didn't buy this as a kid. I bought this maybe, I don't know, close to, I want to say like 8 years ago, 7 years ago maybe. What year is it? Somewhere around there. All right, what was that? Number 9? Let's go into number 8. This one needs a press too. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 122. One of my favorite Spider-Man covers of all time. The death of Green Goblin. Obviously, we know what just happened. Gwen Stacy just died. And the death of Green Goblin was so iconic. Unfortunately, so many people don't stay dead. Gwen has, although we've seen so many different variants of her. Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful cover. This is a nice looking mid-grade. But like I said, definitely, I need to press this up. All right. That was 8. Trying to keep count here. This is number 7. Another iconic one from my generation. I have my better copy at CGC right now. It's actually been sitting. It hasn't been received. It's been sitting for about a month and a half. That's how bad it is. We'll see. I even fast-tracked them. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 252. This is a newsstand. I think both of my copies were newsstands. I'm pretty sure. But this is definitely a mid-grade. It has a nice spine, some spine stress, a bit of a spine roll, and a lot of color-breaking spine ticks on there. But, you know, first appearance of the black suit. Awesome AF-15 cover swipe. This book, I'm telling you, I keep saying it, if we get Tom Holland wearing a symbiote suit in the MCU, wow. All right, next up, number 6. I have this in a little case here. I was so happy when I purchased this book. This is one of the first earlier Amazing Spider-Mans that I purchased. And this is Amazing Spider-Man number 39. The first John Romita Sr. work. And on Spider-Man, and just an iconic cover. John Romita is, if not one of my favorites, if not my all-time favorite artist of all time. Decent looking copy. I had it hanging up on my wall, but then I just put this in with my CGCs in the case. I don't really like to hang too much stuff on the walls. Love it. Iconic for sure. All right, we are halfway through. You ready for number 5? Ironically, number 5 is a 5.0 CGC Amazing Spider-Man number 121, The Death of Gwen Stacy. This book presents so well. I definitely thought this book was going to be at least a 6.0, but there is a couple of color-breaking spine ticks, but then a color-breaking kind of crease that runs parallel to that side of the book that I think really brought that down. Oh, you know what I think also too is, I think there was a little bit of a moisture stain right there. That's probably what did it, because we know CGC is just, I know that nothing was wrong with the texture on that little mark, but you can kind of see it there. I think that's what did it. Still, very beautiful book. It's obviously, I bought this raw, sent it into CGC. It's absolutely increased in value since I purchased it. That is number 5. Going into number 4 on the list. Another one that I sent in to CGC. Very happy with the grade on this one. I think I guess this one to be a 5.0. Came back a 5.5. Amazing Spider-Man number 31. First appearance of Gwen Stacy, but it's also the first appearance of Harry Osborn. For some reason, he doesn't get as much love. Oh, it's first appearance of Professor Warren as well, but everyone's always like, first appearance of Gwen Stacy. And I'm like, come on, man, give Harry some love too, right? 5.5. Very happy to have this book. Off-white to white pages. That is my number 4 pick. All right, everyone. Top 3. We ready for it? This is my earliest, at least, standard U.S. edition. I do have a German edition of Amazing Spider-Man number 10. But this is my earliest copy of Amazing Spider-Man. It's number 17. Second appearance of the Green Goblin. Just looking at it in the bag, I haven't looked at it in a while. It could be a 3.0. Just very happy to have it. I hope to one day own the first appearance of Green Goblin. Obviously, the hope to one day own my whole Grail run of Amazing Spider-Man, but yep, I don't know, folks. I don't know. All right, 2 more to go. This is one that was a little ahead of my time in terms of collecting Amazing Spider-Man. I want to say that my brother had it, but I don't really remember. And it got to a point when I got back into collecting after I hopped out during my teenage years where it was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to own this book. But I finally went for it. I purchased it already slabbed, an 8.5 ASM 300. This book is like over triple in value, almost quadrupled in value since I purchased it. Just about almost 4 times. Very, very happy in this beautiful 8.5 white pages. This book is that Grail of the Copper Age, in my humble opinion. All right, folks, we have one more book. Can you guess what it is? I talk about it a lot. I've talked about it a lot before I owned the book. I still talk about it. This was my personal Grail, hands down. And when did I get this book? Was it last year, 2020? Like right before COVID hit? I honestly don't remember, but I had patience with this and I finally pulled the trigger when it was right. It is a lower grade. It's a 3.0. I could tell it's never been pressed. I think it could be bumped up to a 3.5 if it was, but probably no higher than that. But it presents really, really well. Cream to off-white pages. And that is Amazing Spider-Man number 129. My Grail. I mean, obviously I could say like, you know, AF15 and Spider-Man number 1 would be my personal Grails, but this is my personal Grail that was in the ballpark of my budget that I could actually afford. And I made it happen. And I'm so happy. I mean, it presents really nice for a 3.0. Really, really nice. Cream to off-white. Another one that I just, at one point in time, I didn't know if I would ever own this book. There it is, everyone. Coming from a huge Spider-Man fan. I'd have to say it was tough. It was tough putting either one of these as number 1. So happy to have them both. I want to know what you all think of my top 10 Spider-Man picks in my collection are below. Like I said, obviously, if I had like 1 through 10 or even 14 issues in those issues in my collection, some of those would be on the list, but I don't. Hopefully one day I will. I want to know your thoughts below. Let me know what you thought of my picks. Let me know if you guys are diehard Spider-Man fans as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, if you aren't subscribed to the channel, please do so. Also, check out all the links in the description below, how you can help support the channel by becoming a member of either YouTube or Patreon. Of course, our Comic Book Canon YouTube channel link is below as well. And don't forget, the link to bcwsupplies.com is below. If you guys are in need of comic book supplies, you can use the code JOURNOS to get 10% off of your orders. No matter how small the order, no matter how large the order, and you can use that JOURNOS code as many times as you want. So definitely take advantage of that. Save you guys some money. Thanks for watching. Till next time.